Right now, thousands of UK pensioners are heading towards a financial cliff edge, and most of them have no idea it's coming. This June, several important changes are taking effect that could directly affect your state pension, your tax bill, and your retirement income. And if you're not aware of them, you could end up paying more than you need to, receiving less than you're entitled to, or missing a critical deadline that costs you money for years to come. The triple lock, the personal allowance freeze, the state pension age transition. They all sound familiar, but there are specific details buried inside each one that almost nobody is talking about. Details that could seriously affect your household budget right now. Later in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's changing, who is affected, what you need to do before the end of June, and crucially, one tax situation that could catch hundreds of thousands of pensioners completely off guard. Stay with me, because this one really matters. We're now in June 2026, and the UK pension and retirement landscape is shifting faster than at any point in recent memory. The full new state pension currently sits at £221.20 per week. That's £11,502 per year. And inflation forecasts suggest the triple lock increase for April 2027 could push that figure even higher. That sounds like good news. But here's the problem. The personal allowance, the amount you can earn before paying income tax, has been frozen at £12,570 since 2021, and it will remain frozen until at least 2028 under current government plans. Do the maths. The gap between your state pension and the tax-free threshold is closing rapidly. Some pensioners, particularly those with even a small additional income from a private pension, part-time work, or savings interest, are already paying income tax. And many of them don't even know it. There's also the state pension age transition that's quietly catching people out. The age is moving from 66 to 67. And if you're between 55 and 65 right now, your exact state pension age might be different from what you assume. In this video, I'll cover 4 critical areas: the triple lock and what the 2027 forecast means for you, the state pension age transition, and how to check your eligibility date, the income tax trap that's affecting more pensioners every year, and what steps you should take right now, before June ends. Let's start with the triple lock, because there's both good news and a warning attached to it. The triple lock guarantees that the state pension rises each April by whichever is highest out of 3 figures: inflation, average earnings growth, or 2.5%. In April 2026, the state pension rose by 4.1%, in line with earnings growth. That brought the full new state pension to £221.20 per week. Now, forecasters are already looking ahead to April 2027. Due to rising inflation expectations and strong wage growth, some projections suggest next year's triple lock increase could be between 3.5% and 5%. If earnings growth comes in at the higher end, the state pension could approach or even exceed £230 per week, over £11,960 per year. That sounds excellent, and in isolation it is. But here's what most people don't realize. As the state pension rises year after year under the triple lock, it's creeping closer and closer to the frozen personal allowance of £12,570. Once state pension income alone approaches that threshold, any additional income, even £1,000 a year from a small workplace pension, could push you into the basic rate tax band. You'd be paying 20% income tax on that additional amount, collected automatically by HMRC through your tax code. Imagine someone called Margaret, 69 years old, living in Leeds. She receives the full state pension of £221.20 per week and a small defined benefit pension from a previous employer worth £1,200 per year. Her total income is £12,702. That's £132 over the personal allowance. She owes HMRC £26.40 in tax this year, collected by adjusting her tax code. Doesn't sound like much, but if the state pension rises again in 2027, that tax liability will grow year on year, with nothing she can do to stop it. The long-term sustainability of the triple lock is also under debate. Reports published by the Institute for Fiscal Studies have highlighted that the triple lock costs the Treasury roughly £11 billion more per year than a simple earnings link would. There is growing political discussion about future modifications. Not removal, but potentially switching to a double lock or earnings-only increase after 2030. No change has been announced. but it's a conversation worth watching. Here's an issue that surprises a remarkable number of people, and yet the government has been warning about it for years. The state pension age in the UK is currently 66 for both men and women. But legislation already passed by Parliament means it is rising to 67 between 2026 and 2028. If you were born between April 6, 1960 and April 5, 1977, your state pension age is somewhere between 66 and 67, and the exact date depends on your specific date of birth. DWP data has consistently shown that a significant proportion of people approaching retirement don't know their exact pension age. And the consequences of getting this wrong are real. If you claim early, which you cannot do with the state pension, or if you make retirement plans based on an incorrect age, you could retire months before you're eligible and face a gap in income you weren't expecting. The next point could save you months of financial stress. Gov.uk has a free state pension age calculator at gov.uk. You simply enter your date of birth, and it tells you your exact state pension age and your forecast weekly pension amount based on your national insurance record. Consider a man called David, born in October 1960. He's been telling colleagues he'll retire at 66. But because of the phased transition, his state pension age is actually 66 years and 5 months. He'd need to wait until March 2027 to receive his first payment. If he'd retired in October 2026 as planned, he'd have faced a 5-month income gap. That's potentially thousands of pounds of savings depleted unnecessarily, or debt taken on to cover the gap. Check your date. It takes 5 minutes. Go to gov.uk and use the State Pension Age Checker tool. Don't assume. Verify. This is where things become expensive, and where I need you to pay close attention. HMRC does not automatically contact you when you become liable for income tax on your pension. Many pensioners assume that because they've never paid income tax before, or because they're no longer working, they have nothing to worry about. That assumption is costing people real money. Here's the reality. If your total income from all sources exceeds £12,570 per year, you owe income tax on the amount above that threshold. Your sources of income might include the state pension, a workplace or private pension, part-time employment, bank or building society interest, income from a rental property, or dividends from investments. HMRC collects this tax in one of two ways, either through a PAYE tax code applied to another income source, or through a self-assessment tax return if you have complex income or no PAYE income stream. If HMRC can't collect via PAYE, they will eventually issue you with a tax demand, sometimes covering more than 1 year. That can be a shock if you weren't expecting it. In 2024 to 25, HMRC estimated that around 8 million pensioners were taxpayers, up from 6.5 million just 5 years earlier. That increase is almost entirely driven by the personal allowance freeze combined with rising state pension payments. By 2028, when the freeze is currently scheduled to end, that number could exceed 9 million. There's another issue almost nobody talks about: savings interest. Since interest rates rose from 0.1% in 2021 to a peak above 5% in 2024, many pensioners with modest savings are now earning hundreds of pounds per year in interest. That interest is taxable income. Basic rate taxpayers get a personal savings allowance of £1,000 per year. But if your income already exceeds the personal allowance, savings interest chips away at that allowance fast. What should you do? Start by getting a clear picture of all your income sources. If you think you might owe tax and you haven't filed self-assessment, visit HMRC's website, hmrc.gov.uk, and check whether you need to register. The deadline for self-assessment registration for the 2025 to 26 tax year is October 5, 2026. Don't miss it. Before we talk about what to do next, there's one more issue that I cannot stress enough. Pension credit is one of the most underclaimed benefits in the United Kingdom. It's a means-tested top-up from the DWP, designed to support pensioners on lower incomes. The full new state pension is £221.20 per week, but pension credit tops up a single person's income to at least £218.15 per week if they receive less than that. For couples, the guarantee amount is £332.95 per week. But here's why it matters even more than the direct top-up. Claiming pension credit can also unlock access to other benefits, including housing benefit, council tax reduction, a free TV license if you're over 75, and help with NHS costs. The total value of these additional entitlements can be worth thousands of pounds per year, far beyond the direct pension credit payment itself. The DWP estimates that around 880,000 eligible households are not currently claiming pension credit. That's nearly 1 million households leaving money behind that they're fully entitled to receive. If your weekly income from all sources is below £218.15 as a single person, or £332.95 as a couple, call the Pension Credit Claim Line on 0800 99 1234 or visit gov.uk to check your eligibility and apply. There is no downside to checking, and the potential upside is significant. Let's bring this all together, because there's a lot to take in, and I want to make sure you leave this video with clear, actionable steps. First, the triple lock is still working in your favor for now, but rising state pension payments are pushing more people towards, and in some cases past, the income tax threshold. If your annual income from all sources is approaching £12,570, you need to be aware of your tax position. Second, if you or someone close to you was born after April 6, 1960, don't assume you know your state pension age. The transition to 67 is already underway. Check your exact date on gov.uk using the State Pension Age Calculator. Third, if you think you may owe income tax and aren't sure how it's being collected, contact HMRC or check your tax code. Don't wait for a demand letter. The 2025 to 26 self-assessment registration deadline is October 5, 2026. Fourth, if your income is below the pension credit thresholds, please call the DWP on 0800 99 1234 and check your eligibility. You may be entitled to considerably more than you're currently receiving. The pension and retirement rules in this country are changing fast. The government isn't going to send you a personal letter telling you when you're affected. It's on you and on people like us to stay informed. If this video has helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more people find this information when they need it most. And if you want to stay ahead of pension, tax, and benefits changes in the UK, subscribe to this channel. Every week, I cover the updates that affect your income, your retirement, and your financial security, in plain English, without the jargon. Share this with someone you know who's approaching retirement, or who's already there. One conversation could save them thousands. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.